Hello and welcome. I'm your host Elizibar, and hey, I've been back from Bell County Comic Con for like 18 hours or something now, which isn't that actually that long, but I did get some sleep in between now and then. And you can see we got swag, yo. Quite a lot of it, which was not my intention. I didn't want to bring that much stuff back with me, but I just couldn't manage to get away without being loaded up with stuff. Weird. So Bell County Comic Con in Belton, Texas. It was August, whatever this past weekend was. Let me pull up the calendar here. 6th and 7th. I drove down on Thursday, got there like late at night on Thursday, and walked into my hotel and discovered that the entire thing stank. It stank of mildewed clothing and towels and sorrow on the first floor. On the third floor where my hotel room was, it smelled sort of like Satan's butthole. It was like somebody had did really nasty things with an onion sandwich, and yeah. And somehow, my actual room was worse. Through the power of Lysol and Glades, the room eventually got to where it only smelled like burned hair. So that's considered a win. So whatever you do, don't stay in the La Quinta there in Belton near the convention center. It's a death trap. Human beings walk in and they're lucky if they come right back out. I couldn't believe there was like a group having like a business meeting in their conference room there. Like they made a bad choice. I clearly should have stayed up the street at the Holiday Inn. Because the Holiday Inn where the convention guests were staying, which I got to hang out at, was actually really nice. So who knew? Before we get started with too much stuff here, I did want to get this out because I don't think I ever showed this when I got back from being out in Devil's Tower and Mount Rushmore and all that stuff. I bought this deck of trading cards, and I just want to show you my disappointment in them. All right. I mean, they're tourist trap trading cards. What do you expect, right? The backs are okay. Like I got nothing wrong with the backs. They look kind of cool. And they're just here's a memento, but they're not in the right order. Number one, where's the premium cards? There are no premium cards. And number two, you come to the middle, do you see two kings in here kissing? No. No, you don't. So this isn't even in new deck order. So I don't know who manufactured these cards. Let's look this up. Doesn't say who manufactured them. Anyway. Made in the People's Republic of China, PRC, right there. You probably can't even read that. So just a little disappointment there in these trading cards. I like to collect trading cards that are interesting. They make a nice little souvenir because they're a souvenir you can actually use. You know, as opposed to most souvenirs, like you get a little souvenir like thimble or whatever. You're never actually going to sew anything with your little souvenir thimble. Let's just be honest. But playing cards, I will take those to work or something one day and sit there and shuffle the deck at my desk. So I got this print here, signed. I guess we take it out of the plastic, so there's not this whole big, super shiny thing going on. Very nice Common America print. I didn't ask for it; I was just handed it. So it was like, take this, and I was like, okay, man. They signed it and everything. Got a little crinkled up in transit. That's okay. I don't know what to do with prints. I don't have anywhere to hang them up. I don't, you know. And I have approximately like 50 prints stacked up in my closet. So I guess this is just going to go hang out with them for now. But maybe one day, it'll move on from that. We're going to flip over to some stuff on Twitter here, just kind of get through a few little highlighty things. Oh yeah, badges. Hey, I only went down for one day. And apparently, you know, the badge for that just says Saturday. Who knew? I didn't know. Because the badges I got last year, I think, said weekend pass on them. Yeah, I'm looking over there at them. They're dangling off of a cabinet. Anyway, let's squeaky chair as I roll across my office. And let's flip over here. Boom. Yeah. So this was taken by Mr. Pellegrini on the end of day one. And this is like the essence of Texas right here. This is like, if you've ever wanted to know what Texas looked like, it's a man holding up a placard that has a Buc-ee's logo on it. That is, in fact, Texas. This is just some photos people took. I didn't take any pictures. You can.
Bell County Comic Con with that's Matt Weldon, Doug Ernst, my favoriteest people. Black over here. That's Tim and Mark selling cocaine to people, and
Yeah, so this was posted up before general admissions open up, so it's a lot less busy than it was later in the day. This photo here is also at a less busy time, but is a more accurate representation of what the main floor looked like. The iconic comic booth is actually right behind all these T-shirts here. And Flork was sitting, let's see, right here. There's where Flork's booth was. And Dave Dorman was on the other side of this wall of posters. Let's see what we got going on here.
So I have almost nearly sold out of all of the Rags 8 normal covers that I brought with me. So Bell County Comic Con has been really great. We have met Will the Bow.
Who works for id, I think. Anyway, we're gonna stop there. I was hoping he was gonna mention Brian Ball also sold out of all the art books he brought. I got one of them here. I can't show you anything in it, but I got it. Yep, look at this. Perch stalking Brian Ball. I went to an Arby's in honor of Perch. This is from probably earlier in the day. So he's selling out, man. He had some interesting clientele come by. Here's a summary of all the swag. We'll get through this stuff in a second. Yep, that cow Perch is nowhere in sight. After leaving, country music is just farm emo. It's too true. This is me giving Brian, flack for the lack of promotion. Like, who even knew he was going to be there? Not me. Not me. And look, all these dudes were hanging out together. I didn't take any pictures. I didn't feel like I wanted to, like, be a creepy stalker. So I totally did not get a whole bunch of photos. But what I did get instead is stuff. So I talked to Brian, actually, that Friday night when everybody flew in, I hung out with a bunch of them over at their hotel in at the Holiday Inn. I don't remember what the town was. I couldn't remember if it was in Belton or Temple, but it was at the Holiday Inn, and I hung out with them there. And then Brian was all like, "Yo, I'm hungry." This was after everybody else had gone to bed, right? This is after everybody else had gone to bed. And he's like, "Yo, I'm hungry," and so we ended up going to the Fajita King, and I got a couple photos. I'm not going to show those. I got a little video clip. I ain't showing that either. Like, the legend of the Fajita King. If you were there that night in that Fajita King, you're made of some pretty stern stuff. Just gonna go straight ahead and say that. I'm sure somebody will, like, Freedom of Information Act, the police report from that night. Very exciting stuff. I did a very short clip on that. But this is the Rags art book right there. It's pretty thick. It's got Brian's signature on the back, which I can't show you on YouTube, so we will just ignore that for the moment. What else do I got here? I got a whole thing full of stuff. All right, and we're gonna do the Brian stuff first. So that means we're gonna look at those stickers later. Nope. Here we go. He did sign my Rags prologue right there. You can see. Very nice gentleman. He likes signing things. If you can't read the signature, that's obviously Brian Ball. And yeah, had a good time. He shoved one of these in my hand too, and told me to take it. And then he ripped it out of the plastic and he just, like, scribbled on top of it. He's an absolute madman. Stay away from him. He may lose a hand if you get too close. You may lose a hand if you get too close to him. So yeah, I had a great time. We hung out. It was me, Bill Williams, Alejandro, Alejandro's friend, who we looked at in that one clip, whose name I just forgot, Will something. Matt Weldon was there. Doug Ernst showed up. Like, we had a great time hanging out in the lobby of the Holiday Inn as Brian Ball sucked down increasingly large amounts of liquor. Did I say Bill Williams was there? Bill Williams was there. We had a pretty wide-ranging conversation about all kinds of things, from problems with like the industry and how hard it can be to get your stuff printed and all that kind of jazz. It was a good time. It was a good time, and Brian became increasingly drunk, and then we went to the Fajita King, and the legend of the Fajita King will haunt my dreams for all time. The end. I should throw this down too. Boom, I actually have a second one, which got a little beat up in transit, but that's okay. Comic books are meant to be read, so when things get beat up a little bit, it's absolutely okay. And let's see. So next morning, I go there and get in, and it's like, holy crap, I can't even get down there. And then it was suddenly like, boom, time for panels to start. And somebody, I think I know who this, I think I could pick this person out in a lineup if I saw their face, because I know where this person was sitting. But you can check out this writers panel here. Oh, we're muted. And this is actually pretty funny because Brian starts telling the story at one point. Look at that face. Look at that face. Brian starts telling the story at one point, and he just like cracks himself up, and it's absolutely golden. If you haven't watched it, go look up this dude, Romancer X. Look up his channel. I'm gonna go ahead and boom sub this guy, and you should check that out and watch that. Apparently, he's split into two parts. Maybe he's got like some kind of limitation on his account or something, or his recording equipment can only go so long. I don't know. Then went and had lunch and walked through like the vendor hall and the artist hall. And I was looking for Ben Dunn, but I got hungry and I didn't finish finding Ben Dunn before it was like, oh man, I got to go get some chow. So Ben Dunn, I'm sorry, dude. I really wanted to get you to scribble on this thing, but it did not happen. It did not occur, and it's 100% my bad. It's 100% my bad. Let's see, Ben Dunn. Yeah, I had some chow from like a food truck or whatever. Came back in, and then boom, it was time for another panel, which I couldn't find in my 30 seconds of searching on YouTube. So that panel was Tim and Mark talking about their stuff. And the thing I thought was really funny about it was they were like, all right, we're probably just going to take a bunch of questions from the audience here. And then 1 hour later, they hadn't shut up talking yet. And that does being a little disingenuous because they did take like two questions from the audience. But you kind of get my point, right? You totally get my point. Let's see. Then went back down to the table. Oh, I had bumped in. I'd actually gone down to the table very briefly before the panel, just to talk to Brian, and I brought him a bottle of water later and stuff, and also gave him a felt tip pen because his Sharpie died. You know how life goes when you're doing these kind of things. But then I went back up or back down there. I keep saying back up, but it was actually down. And I started talking to Tim, and Tim gave me that print that's on the bottom of the stack, and he just kept throwing stickers in, bro. He just kept throwing in stickers, which I think I might have like this sticker already because that looks very familiar, but it's super cute, so I'm okay with having a second one. And the most important sticker. Oh, hey. Sorry, you two. Sorry. Get scooch. Oh, they won't separate. They will just not separate. They're like having too much fun there. There we go. All right, now they're separated. But the best sticker is, of course, Capybara Supremacy, which I cracked up at. So when Tim wasn't looking, all right, Tim wasn't looking, and I was like, I stepped around the corner. I'm like, yo, Mark, Mr. Pellegrini, those Darkstalkers books, they're like $10, right? He's like, yeah. So I like threw my credit card, and then Tim detected what was happening, and he's like, I'm not charging him. And so I ended up, Tim signed this thing, and just gave it to me. Like, these guys are way too generous for their own good. I kind of took Brian to task a little bit for that too, because over there, somebody that was on the Patreon came up and was talking to him. He was like, hey man, we haven't sent these out yet. You want one? And just gave him one of his books. It's like, Brian, you should have sold that for like $5. Come on, bro. He's not the only one giving stuff away. Or I should say, they're not the only ones that were giving some stuff away. I was hanging out with Doug Ernst, and this guy who was probably active duty military came over and was looking at Soul Finder. He was a little dubious about it. I was like, man, it's a pretty good book. You might just want to pick it up and like flip through it or whatever. And the dude ended up taking all three books. And Doug was like, hey man, you know what? Why don't you just give me $20 for all three instead of 25 or whatever the normal price was? Make it a nice round number. And boom, guy walked away with all of it. And before that even happened, Doug was like, yo, Elizibar, why don't you take one of these? And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna buy one and get it in the mail in a couple of weeks. Like, it's not a big deal. And he's like, no, I insist. I haven't even flipped through this thing yet. I don't want to spoil any of the contents. I don't want to spoil whatever's inside of this thing lurking for me. Ooh, that's kind of funny to have Soul Finder right next to a book where there's a succubus on the cover, isn't it? Weird. Oh yeah. Before I forget, I took Black Hops issue 2 down there, got them to sign it because last year they were like, "Oh, that's such a super rare thing," and Mark like basically was like beside himself. He's like, "Oh, that's so rare," you know. It was a good time. It was pretty funny. Let's see. Then I stepped around and I talked with Bill. Like I went looking for a Punchline 13. I was like, "Bro, I can't find a Punchline 13." We talked about that the night before too, that Friday night, and he didn't have any copies there. And I was hoping since like Ben Dunn was there, maybe he'd brought some down from AP or something with him, and Bill had some or whatever. Like that's what I was hoping. He didn't, so I picked up this off of Bill, got him to sign it, and then he made Matt Weldon sign it. So I actually ended up with several things signed by Matt Weldon. Probably the funniest one was the thing I'm holding here, the last thing in my hands. This old issue Plus Ultra #1, art by Matt Weldon. And you can see, boom, right there, signed it. And he didn't want to sign it. He's like, "Oh God, who got that ugly thing out? Oh no," because he doesn't seem to like his work on this book. Um, yeah, it was a good time. We had a lot of great conversations with a lot of pretty cool people. Don't believe everything you hear on Twitter or the internet about people, because little things get exaggerated really strongly, and it's very easy to listen to those little things and form a completely incorrect opinion of people. Maybe you don't like any of these people for whatever reason, but none of them have treated me poorly, and they've had plenty of opportunities. I've been bugging Tim on Twitter and Pellegrini, I think, since like 2018. Matt Weldon probably since 2019. I don't know, whenever Punchline #1 came out. So I don't even remember when that was. Bill Williams was a later addition to the people I follow on Twitter. All these people have had a lot of opportunities to do mean stuff to me if they wanted to treat me with disrespect if they wanted to, and not a single one of them ever did, whether online or in person. And I kind of feel like that in-person interaction is the truer representation of the people, and in person, they're all very kind. I will say this, though, for Matt Weldon. Dude, if you watch this, and you probably won't, but if you do, you got to reorganize your table, man. Just completely getting your space blocked in by like gigantic boxes full of cards that you're selling for cheap. It's really cool, but nobody can get over there to say hi to you because you've got like 7 people digging through all this stuff in front of you. On the other hand, that makes your table section, look really busy. I didn't really get a chance to talk to Alejandro or his buddy Will. I don't even think I saw Eric Canetti while I was over there. Maybe he was over there once. And I was going to get Dave Dorman to sign my Soulfinder Black Tide, but every time I looked over there, Dave Dorman was nowhere to be found. So I think he had a panel discussion, then maybe he went to get some lunch or something. Didn't see him, so whatever. Oh, and as I did say on Twitter, I did go to say hi to Flork, and I chickened out, and instead of like going and saying hi, I just kept walking and blurted out something like, "I like your comic, it's funny and disturbing," and ran, because it's Flork, right? So how do I know that underneath his table, the dude does not have like a sock puppet made of human baby teeth, right? That's going to squirt blood at me or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's Flork. You can't trust it. Anyway, Bell County Comic Con 2022, the legend of the Fajita King is real. I will not elaborate, and if you want more details, you're probably not going to get them from me or Brian. Me, because I'm not going to tell you, and Brian, because he probably doesn't remember it, because he didn't remember me taking him home. All right, you all take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes while I talked about Bell County Comic Con and all the fun I had. I wish some of the celebrities had been people I actually cared about, like last year, man, getting Sergeant Slaughter through me in that Cobra Clutch. Talking with Honky Tonk Man, really great. I'm not like a super fan of any of the guests they had this year, but that's okay because that's not why I went. I went to go talk to these people and hang out with them a little bit. And once again, they have proven to me, that they're pretty cool dudes. All right, you all take care of yourselves. Have a great one. And I'm not sure I'm going to go next year, but maybe I will. I don't know. Could be crazy. Bye-bye.